Kinematics by Brett Small, Ben Fuchs, and Mike Lombardo. This is the terminology of kinematics. The distance an object moves is how far it is moving. Distance is a scalar quantity. Similar to the distance is the displacement of an object, which is the change in its position. The difference between the two is that the displacement is a vector quantity when distance is a scalar quantity. Both speed and velocity are the rate at which objects move. However, velocity also shows the direction in which the object is traveling. Speed is a scalar quantity and velocity is vector. Last but not least is acceleration. Acceleration is the rate of change of an object's velocity. Velocity can change if the speed increases, if the speed decreases, or if the direction changes. The equations of kinematics. The first equation is the definition of acceleration. You use it when solving for the final velocity. It reads, the final velocity equals the initial velocity plus acceleration times delta t. Delta t is the change in time. This equation can be applied when you don't have delta x. This equation says delta x equals 1/2 multiplied by the quantity of the initial velocity plus the final velocity multiplied by delta t. If you don't have delta x, it can be found doing the average velocity multiplied by the change in time. Combining this equation with the average velocity equation, which is the quantity of the initial velocity plus the final velocity divided by 2. Use this equation when the acceleration is unknown. The third equation says that delta x equals the initial velocity times delta t plus 1/2 times the acceleration times delta t squared. This equation can be used when you're solving for delta x and you're solving without the final velocity. The fourth and final equation can be used when you don't have delta t as a variable. The equation reads the final velocity squared equals the initial velocity squared plus 2 times the acceleration times delta x. Using these equations to solve a problem should be fairly easy. As long as you know what you've been given, you should be able to figure out what equation to use. After that, it's as simple as plugging in numbers and solving for the missing variable.